Okay, so this time it would be booking, but here we'll just say unmanaged. And this time it would be a normal entity, so which will be a view entity in this case. Okay, and here we'll just simply say that my data source will be this booking. Okay, and we won't ignore this, so we'll just say remove this. So at least we'll just get the annotation that we specified at the base layer. Okay, so now we have to specify the composition over here. So I'll just go over here, copy this name, and I'll just say I do have a composition. I'll just say there can be 0 to n number of booking composition of this. And we have to expose this as well. It says that the association to parent is missing. So I'll just go over here and I'll just say association to parent this as travel on dollar projection. I'll just say travel ID equal to underscore travel dot travel ID. And I have to expose this association as well. Okay, and now I have to activate both the views at the same time because both has internal dependencies. Okay, so here I guess we do have a travel and booking, I guess, created as unmanaged. And now what we'll be doing is we'll be just creating a C view on top of it. I'll just go over here and I'll just say right click. Okay, but here there is a unmanaged travel projection view as an unmanaged. Okay, but as it's a travel, it will be a route. Okay, and this point in time, it's a projection. So I'll just remove this thing. And here I'll just say as projection on, and here we have to specify this particular travel view. So I'll just copy this and I'll just paste it over here. I'll just remove this as well. And I'll just say control space, insert all. Okay, and here we have to specify, as we discussed earlier, provider contract, transactional query. Okay, let me just activate this. Okay, next thing is same way we have to specify it for, I can say we have to create a consumption view for my booking as well. I'll just say data definition over here. Go next. And this time it would be a view. Okay, and we won't be ignoring this. So I'll just say this on, and now I'll just pick the booking view from here. This is the one that we are going to use, but this will be as projection on. Okay, and here we'll just simply say that we want all these elements. Okay, and we'll just say redirected to parent. So what is the parent of this? So this travel will be the parent for this. I'll just copy this. Okay, and same way we have to redirect to the composition child, which is this booking. Okay, now let's just activate both of this. Next thing we'll be defining the scope and we'll be activating the service. Next, I guess post which the very important thing will be the behavior and understanding the skeleton of it. Okay, so that's would be the one of the important thing that we'll be going to see now. So for example, let's just define the scope. That will be very quick. Okay, I'll just go next over here and I'll just define a service. Okay, and now here in this case, this will be my unmanaged. So I'll just copy this, paste it over here as travel. Okay, so I guess we'll have this particular service definition ready. Okay, so let's just close each and everything other than this, and I'll just go over here. Okay, now let's just create a service binding. Okay, and here we'll be just generating one more service binding over here. I'll just say travel service unmanaged. Okay, so first and foremost thing, we have to activate this. Okay, next we have to publish it. Post which, I guess once the service is available, we'll be able to see that, okay, it's available as normal read-only application. The moment we extend it with the behaviors, okay. Next thing that we are going to say is the moment we extend it with the behavior, the functionality buttons, I can say create, delete, and all the things will be available. But for the functionality to work, the actual logic that we need is something that we have to implement at our own. Okay, that is why it is called unmanaged. Because maybe you would be remembering, like as we discussed, that manage and unmanaged, the only difference between manage and unmanaged is who is going to manage all the transactional call implementation. So in case of manage, it's a standard application SAP, which will be doing it. But in case of unmanaged, all we would be provided with is a placeholders. We would be provided with applications, I can say individual methods where we can define our own set of logic. Okay, so that's something that we are going to see, that what all methods are there. So maybe I guess some of you who would have worked on gateway-based services, right? The SCGW gateway services. You would have observed that we do have some sort of a methods getting created for each and every entity. For example, if I would have created a travel entity in gateway project, I would have got multiple methods, right? So if I consider the same skeleton, I would be able to compare the unmanaged app with that of the normal SECW skeleton. Okay, so it's not 100% similar, but just to give you a bit of glimpse, in case of a travel, if it would have been a gateway base, you would have got a method called get entity. Yeah, Meghna, I guess no issues. That's fine. Anyway, I guess we'll close today's session early, maybe somewhere around 10:30. Okay, so I guess that's fine. No, not an issue. Maybe you can go through the recording post that. Maybe at around 10:30 anyway, we'll also be closing the session. Okay, so let's just go back. Okay, yeah, we do have this available. But what we were discussing on is that if I do have unmanaged app where I do have a travel, in the SHEW, you would see that, okay, if I am seeing that I might have multiple methods getting generated, entity set, some sort of a create entity, some sort of a update entity, and delete entity. Okay. Uh, in travel app as well, we'll get some methods. Maybe I'm not saying that it will be name wise as well called out like this, but like we were responsible in gateway after defining the entity for implementing each and every logic granularly at our own same way. In unmanaged app as well, we have to do the same thing at our own. Okay. Second thing is in the gateway, we used to have some sort of a deep structures. Okay. We can say deep methods call, for example, create deep entity and get expanded entity. Okay, so same way we would be able to generate some methods if we want in care for the deep executions as well. But the name and the structure would differ. So now maybe let's just go in that direction to see how it is working. So for example, if I just open this travel, maybe it would look like a normal read-only app because here we don't have anything which specify that, okay, whether my application is a managed or unmanaged. Other than the naming convention we followed, rest everything seems like a normal wrap application. Okay, so this looks good. I'll just go over here and I'll just simply say, I'll blindly go over here and copy paste few things. Okay, I guess this would also be good to have. Okay, so I'll just go over here and quickly enrich it with a bit of information. Because the same structure is same, so that's why maybe we can just copy and paste it. I guess this, underlying fields are same, right? So rather than spending time on that, maybe we can spend time in learning the other skeletons of RAP because RAP is a very really vast topic, I guess, over here. So I'll just close this as well. Okay, and now we do have the oh, I guess we did it for the booking. Yeah, we did it for the booking. So we need now for the travel as well. So I'll just say there's a travel. Element bookings. Okay, here we have called it out as a bookings. There's a travel, and I guess what it is called then. Okay, there's a booking in this case. That could be the reason. Okay, so I guess that's activated now. And now if I just go back, we should have the application, at least in a normal state, available for us. Okay, so we do have it ready. Okay, perfect. So now next important thing is the behaviors. Okay. So now let's just go over here, just close this out. And now let's just also close each and everything we don't need. Instead, now let's just focus on this travel. So travel is a root view entity. Okay, so I'll just go and right click on that and I'll just say create a new behavior definition. Okay, so these are unmanaged travel one I do have, and here the same way I want to create the implementation type, but this time as a unmanaged. So this is something which is important. This is what you would like to follow when you are working on the unmanaged. I'll just say finish. Okay, so now it looks like empty behavior is getting created. I'll just give it an alias like we used to give it for the managed one. Same way, I'll just say travel. This is my booking. Okay. Now, another thing that you would be seeing that we do have a couple of things already available over here. So the moment we do have this, I guess we'll also see that we do have a class which does not exist. Okay, so I'll just have to first activate this behavior in order for us to work on the class implementation. Okay, so I guess once we do have this particular behavior implementation in place, we'll be able to create our own set of classes as well. Okay, so we'll just go with the strict 2 over here first. Okay, and here along with that, we'll also provide some sort of a logging mechanism over here by providing the field called. Okay, last change it. And here we'll just specify. Okay, now comes the main thing. Okay, so this is a skeleton which is ready, and we are now talking about a non-normal, non-draftable application. But now this class is not there. So let's just put a cursor on this and create a behavior implementation class for this. So this will create a class, but the important thing to note down is the skeleton of the class. Perfect. So now I'll activate this. So here comes the main thing which I would like you to actually focus on. Okay, so we have this. We have this. I'll just do a syntax check. I guess I don't think we would have anything. Yeah, so we don't have any warnings, anything. But now let's just go back to the discussion we had. So in gateway-based application as well, you would have observed that we used to have a get entity and get entity sets and a couple of methods which gives us the behaviors. Okay. Now we are saying that a travel is a create, update, delete, enable, but it's an unmanaged. So it means SAP is not giving us any functionality out of the box. Okay. So if that's the case, then who is going to manage those? Okay. So if you just go over here, we do have a two handler class created, LHC, which is a local handler class for travel, and we do have LHC for booking, which is a local handler class for booking. At the same time, we do have LSC, which is a saver class. So there are three classes, okay, which are, so it's not three, it's always two. It's like we do have a parent class in which implementation is being considered. On top of it, we do have one handler class which handles the I can say execution cycle of each and every node. For travel, we'll have one. For booking, for example, there are 50 nodes of business object. We'll have 50 local handler classes and one common saver class which will save the data. Okay, so as we are going to write the logic, we have to accumulate our data in the handler class and we have to finally save the data in the saver class. So maybe if I just give you a bit of a screenshot, I guess give you a bit of an idea over here, be it a manage, or let's just say if we do have some screenshot for unmanaged, manage BO. Yeah, here it is, right? So if you just go over here, you would see that like in case of a unmanaged as well, we'll have two kind of thing. A transactional buffer is something that will continue to be there. In the interaction phase, we'll be modifying and changing all the data. There we'll be writing our own set of logic. In the saver class, we'll be finalizing, validating, for generating the number, and then we'll be saving the information. So this is what the save sequence means. So if you just go back in your implement, I can say class, you would see that if I want to create the travel information, I do have a create method over here, which allows me creating the information. Okay. So what you will be doing is you will be able to write each and every logic to uh, create an entry into the database table once you are getting the control into the create. If you want that a record is being updated. So in case of update, if you want to write some logic, you will be writing it in the update. Same goes with the delete. Same goes with the read. Okay. In case you want to apply some sort of lock, you will be able to do that. As we have mentioned that booking cannot be created directly. It can only be created via this association over here. There will be a method dedicatedly for that, which is called create by association, which is a CBA booking, which will create the information of a booking via the association. Same, if you want to read the bookings information, you can also read it via the association called read by association over here. Okay. Now with the handler class over here in the booking, you will see that, okay, it's a update, delete. You will be able to read the information, and there you will be able to read the information of a travel. So these are all the methods. Now comes the important part, which is a saver. That each time, okay, a final create header item, everything is getting created, you will get a call on your saver class, which will say that you will be able to finalize the list of information. You would be able to check before actually saving. You would be able to save the data, and finally all the cleanup that you want to do, you will be able to do those cleanup. So this is something which is central. Even though you do a 50 odd nodes, the final saving mechanism, the one which will do the database commit, the one where we'll be writing the insert, update, delete actual statement on the database table. Here we'll be preparing the data. Okay, here we'll be preparing the data in some sort of a, I can say internal tables, or I can say some sort of a class attribute layers. But instead, the final save will happen only after the final validation is being done in the check before save. And in the final save method, we'll be writing a logic to save the data. Okay, so these how the skeleton, or I can say execution, will occur. So for example, if I just simply generate this unmanaged, I can say behavior definition for you. Okay, here you will see that, okay, again, it's a projection because that will continue to be projection because we are creating a behavior on top of the projection view. My bad. So yeah, one more thing, we cannot create a behavior on a non-root entity. So I guess we should be creating it on the travel. So I'll just say new behavior definition, and I'll just go over here and I'll just say next, finish. Okay, and we'll just activate this for now. One thing which I would like you to observe over here is the moment you go over here in this application, now refresh, you will have the create, delete, and everything available. But for example, if I just say delete, there are 4139 record, I'll just say delete over here. Is anything getting deleted? No, because we never wrote any logic. If I just say create, you will see the page over here. But after passing each and every information over here, even if you try creating, this looks like it got created because there was one object with a number 1. I guess that's why it just derived the old information while re-navigating. But for example, I'll just say 2023-03, for example, 04-1212 over here. And now if I just say create, you will see that, okay, there is this object was created. That was a message. But when you go back, okay, will be gone. There are no additional record getting created. 4139 is the one, and the number that we actually generated it with is not still there. It's not there onto the database because it's unmanaged, right? You have to write the logic in order for you to do those executions. So now if we just see the cycle, the circle of the execution, how it behaves. Okay, so for example, I'll just put a breakpoint for our understanding over here in the method. So which is a create over here. Okay, and then we'll move, put the cursor over here in the finalize booking. Sorry, check before save, cleanup, and over here. Okay, so you would see that there is something called create. So if I just go over here and try to view the element info, I'll just show view over here, other and ABAP element info over here. The moment you open this, you will see that for each and every method, for create as well, you are getting the entity input, which sees that, okay, what all things you will be getting. So you are getting each and every information which a user is passing as a part of the input. Okay, post which you will be able to insert it, and you will be able to generate any error message if there are any, and mark any sort of failed parameter. For example, there are 3 records which you received for creation, but it just got failed due to X and Y reason. You will be able to map the generated parameter also in the mapped over here. That's also possible. Okay, so for example, if I just go over here, okay, so for example, if I just go over here and I'll just say create, and I'll just say 2023-04. Okay, now I'll just say create over here. And if you just go back over here, you should be seeing that, okay, you are getting a debugger over here. So you would also be debug it out. And here, as you can see, you are getting the cursor in the create method first. And here you would have some importing parameter in the locals, which is the entities over here, in which you are receiving one record. As a part of which you are receiving each and every information which is being passed. So like we used to have a importing parameter in the create entity method, maybe you were using it using the IO data provider. Here you are getting those information directly. And then you would be able to map the information. So now, for example, if I just say resume, execute, you would be seeing that, okay, now you are getting the control in your finalization, where you would be able to finalize the output. Then you would be able to do a validation in your check before save method. Okay, where in case you feel that, okay, there are any validations which you want to execute, you can execute it over here. In case of any message, you can give it in the reported. In case any record is failing, you can give the key parameter of it in the failed. I'll just execute it over here. And you would be able to write your final insert, update, delete, any sort of save part as a part of the save method. And then the final cleanup will happen. Okay, so these are the life cycle how a record gets created. So this is just a placeholder. That's why it would show you as if it get created, but the moment you go back, it will be gone because there is an unmanaged. So there is a life cycle into which we'll be writing our own set of logic in the form of a EML, entity manipulation language. Okay, so this is something that we are going to learn further. I guess this is something that maybe we can consider for today. Any doubts in any of
Uh,
this particular topic
so
till now? Yes,
so
Shuja.
me yes. So since this managed is like inbuilt, right? I mean, so many of the functionalities are like coming on its own. Then what's the use of this unmanaged? We have to write each and every logic in these methods, right? In unmanaged. So where exactly do we use managed and where exactly do we use unmanaged? What are the
Use
so
cases of it.
looks like this has lot of efforts to put on
Definitely, I
unmanaged.
guess. Definitely. So I guess manage is the preferable way to go if you are starting with, I can say, new application. Okay. Consider a scenario where you do have a BOF-based application already available. Okay. So consider you do have BOF-based application already available, and there you have written all your logic already in different determinations action. You have written all your transactional processing and each and everything. Now you want that this BOF application needs to be converted into a wrapped one. Then it would be your call. You have to decide on whether a managed will be a good fit for you or an unmanaged will be a good fit for you. So how you can decide on how you can weigh on that. First, if you are having a set of business APIs, okay, so many a time people has a, I guess many a developer has a habit of generating class APIs which contains all the different BAPIs and everything and all the stuff which are required for their actual processing. So if you do have such an APIs which in place and you want that in case I am going to create, for example, take an example of you are creating a purchase order application. Okay. So purchase order application has already a BOF application available on top of it. Now this BOF application is also consuming certain class APIs which are already being provided by SAP. So if you are going with a managed, the first thing that you would be doing is you would be generating the BO architecture, which says, okay, what is a parent, what is a child. Then you have to write the persistent table. Okay,
Okay.
so if you are going to write persistent table as EKKO, what would happen is it would directly enter the data into the EKKO, which is not a right thing. You should not be entering the data in this particular standard table. If you are developing an application at your own, definitely you can take the call and you can define and pass each and every information over here. But for example, if you are trying to generate some sort of application which are already provided, or let's just say if you are having your own application in your organization which is BOF based, and doesn't matter BOF based, or let's just say if there is any legacy application already available where business logic has a set of class APIs already available which says that okay, when and where the data should be saved. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's and let's just say many a time you would also observe that, for example, if I'm saying I'm creating an item, then along with the item creation, few fields are being inserted into some place, few fields are also getting inserted into some other place. In managed app as well, we do have some cases, or I can say some functionality which says that manage with additional save. This is something we will be seeing, and manage with unmanaged save. So these are the flavors of manage as well, which gives you a hook where you would be able to write your logic that each and everything will go as per the wrap behavior, or I can say wrap architecture. But on top of it, if you want some additional places where you can write your logic to save additional data, which is over and above the mapping that you are providing, then you can go with this architecture as well. But many a time what happens is if you do have any of the skeleton already available, which is directly having a logic to save the data, to create and persist it, and all the business logic in a layman term, I can say if all the business logic is already available in some places and you want to reuse it, okay, then you would need a broader control on the application. And that broader open control on the application is only being provided by the unmanaged because that's an open thing. All it is giving you is the architecture, the skeleton of it. Rest in each and every handler, you would have the liberty to write your own logic. So
Okay.
as per standard guideline as well, manage is a way forward for each and every new application, each and every fresh application where there is nothing legacy available. Okay. If there is any legacy available, but still if you want to write your business logic from the scratch, line by line, then definitely it's nothing but as good as you are creating a fresh application. But if you want to reuse some logic, okay, at that point in time, you would need a good amount of handler. Whereas as you observe the manage class, you won't see much handler, or I can say much methods other than the determination, action, and validation, which gives you a placeholder method. Rest everything is being handled automatically by the framework. But in case of unmanaged, everything is open. So it depends. If you are going to reuse something, unmanaged will be where you have some pre-built APIs already available and you want to consume those as a part of your application behavior implementation. Okay, so at that point in time, unmanaged makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the call that you can take on depending on the I can say the magnitude of your application, the kind of implementation that was done while it was developed in the legacy world. So that is something. But in case of a fresh application, definitely manage is the way forward, which gives you everything out of the box. So if it's a starting from zero, go with this. If it's a legacy, check out if there is anything that you can reuse. If you want to reuse something, go with unmanaged, then it will give you more liberty. If there is nothing to be reused and you want to do everything from the scratch, again, go with the managed.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so
Thanks.
okay, welcome. So there is definitely, I guess, one of the question which everyone would have when you are opting for which particular way to go for sure. Okay, so there is a skeleton, that's something that we went for. Maybe we just debug through the create. Rest everything we'll be seeing while we actually start developing each and every functionality. So we'll be developing a full-fledged application on this behaviors and all those things as well. So yeah, I guess it's 10:30. Maybe we can call it a day because I guess we do have
Yeah.
most of the participants already dropped off. And
Yes.
yeah, we'll again touch base, I guess, in next session, I guess, on next
Sure.
Saturday. Okay,
Okay. Okay, Sumit. Thank you.
perfect. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Have a good